Hey guys, it's Alexis, aka Little Lexi or Shorty or Little Beyonce, whatever you want to call me. But today I'm just going to be talking to you guys about the 5 steps that I followed in order to create a new balcony space for myself in literally one day. So I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet because time is money and I know y'all don't have time to be watching a 20-minute video over this. One quick thing, I'm sorry about my hair. I'm literally in the middle of doing it. I like to DIY home decor. I also like to DIY my hairstyles, so I'm sorry, not sorry. So the first step is literally just clearing out the space. You want to be able to have a visual idea of what you're working with. For me, I had to clear out a lot because literally I've been using my balcony for storage space since I got this apartment. So really just making sure I move things into closets or into storage, wherever, just make sure your space is clear so you can actually see what you have to work with. The second step is to create a layout. So once you have that clear space, you can get an idea of the type of furniture you want to put in that space and kind of get an idea for the measurements. I personally do not have, well, I do have measuring tape. I don't know where it is. But I wasn't using measuring tape. I literally just looked around to kind of get an idea of what I could fit in this space, and that helped me determine like what I wanted there. In the end, I ended up drawing out really easily. Like it didn't take that long. It took like 5 seconds of like the idea that I had for the layout. As far as measuring the space, I literally used my arms to get an idea of how much space I had. So for me, I knew that long wise, it was 2 of my arm spans plus like a foot. And I knew like width wise that it was 1 of my arm spans plus a foot. And so I just had a general idea. I didn't take like super measurements or anything. I'm a lazy type of person like that. The third step, once you get an idea of the layout and you know what furniture you need to complete that idea, then you just want to ask yourself 3 questions. So what do I already have? What can I find or get for cheap? And what can I make? Which is my personal favorite part because you can always DIY stuff for way cheaper than it would be to just buy it. For me personally, I literally found a table that I used next to the dumpster like when I drove by one day, and so I scooped it up real quick. There's also a white like cabinet thing that I was using in my laundry room, but I realized I don't really like use it other than just putting things on top of it, so I used that outside. I also had some old tires that I kept because I wanted to do a DIY with it, which didn't work out the way I planned, but you will see that it still helped out with things in the future. So there's always things that you might have lying around at home that you can transform or just use it in a different space than you previously were using it in. The fourth step is to go shopping. I know a lot of people like to create mood boards, and sometimes I do too. However, I've done so much of my space that I know my personal style. So I knew that I wanted it to be like bohemian, cream colors. I do like the color black as an accent. So, and I already had the table that was black. So kind of had to work around that as well. So I didn't create a mood board. I literally just went shopping, knowing what furniture I needed to get, and that was it. I will say when you go shopping, you want to be flexible and you want to be a problem solver, and you want to make sure that you eat before you go, because I spent like maybe 3 hours at the at-home store, like literally just doing the shopping for this place. So make sure you eat before you go so you don't get hungry or irritated during the middle, because that definitely happens. I would say if you are like a lazy type person like me and you don't want to create a mood board, an easy way to keep everything really cohesive is to find one piece or one color in the store. For me, it was a pillow that I saw that was like a peachy pink color. I don't know what the color is. But I literally just kept it with me and carried it around the store. And so when I found pieces that went really well with it, I was able to pick that up easily because I knew it would go and it'd be cohesive throughout the entire thing. One thing that I did run into, and this is why I say to be flexible or to be a problem solver, is I was at home, the at-home store, however you want to call it. I was at the store, and there was this one chair that I really wanted, and at the time I only wanted 2 chairs to go in my space. They only had 1. I called every other at-home store and literally none of them had it except for the one that is like 4 hours away from me. And I was not that committed to the vision to drive 4 hours away for 1 chair. So what I did instead is I became a problem solver. I went to Lowe's, which is right across from at home, thankfully. And I looked at some of their chairs, didn't find very many that were like the same style, nor the same color, because I wanted it to be all black. So I went to Home Depot, still had the same problem. None of them were the same. And the ones that I found, at home and Lowe's both do this thing where you can't buy certain chairs individually. If they come in a set, you have to buy the whole set, and I wasn't going to do that. So I went back to Lowe's, and one of the chairs that I found that was a very similar style to the one at home, but it was like a dark brown and black color. And I was like, oh, but it would work so well if it was just black. So I just spray painted it. I literally just got some spray paint at Lowe's, well, since I was already there. And when I brought it home, and I spray painted it so that it would match the idea and the vision that I had. So that's what I mean when I say be flexible and be a problem solver, because you probably aren't going to find exactly what you want if you're trying to create a whole space in literally one day. So that's also why I wouldn't recommend for something this quick to do a full mood board, because things might change and you don't want to get so focused on creating that exact vision that you can't be flexible. So the last step, the 5th step, is to literally just put it all together. So any DIYs you have, make sure you do those. I would do those first to see if they turn out the way you want them to. Any items that you have, like that you found, maybe at the thrift store, maybe by the dumpster like I did, maybe laying around at your house that aren't getting used. Make sure you collect all of those, and then wash them down, things like that, and just putting it all together, making that vision come true, and then you're literally done at that point. So I've told you all the 5 steps that I followed to finish my balcony set in literally one day. And yes, I did it in one day. I will say that there are a couple things that I want to add to it now that I've seen it all together. But at the end of the day, it's a full space. Like, there's nothing really missing. There's just little things that I could add if I want to. But really, I still could have done it in a day if I had not been lazy and went back out to the store to get it. So anyways, like I said, I don't want this to be super long, so I'm just going to show you guys what my patio looks like.
When I think about yesterday, my oh my, my oh my, a kiss, and so I did.